am cherishing today, because this is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. Hi there. I'm so happy to have you here with me today as we convert a Truth backpack into a crossbody. We're also going to be adding a see-through front zipper pocket. Let's go over what you'll need. The pieces needed to make the Truth into a crossbody are virtually the same. The main difference is going to be in the straps and the strap connections. So you still need a front and a back, and you still need 2 side panels. You also still need your zipper tape for the top, a zipper pull, and some type of zipper end or zipper tab. If you choose to use a personalized logo, you also still need that. The measurements for the strap connectors for the crossbody are written in the description box below. You'll need 2. We are also going to need 2 D-rings. And then for this, we're going to modify it to have a zipper pocket on the front. This zipper pocket should also be able to be used whenever making the backpack version. The measurements do not interfere at all with your snap strips. So you will need a piece of clear vinyl, a zipper tape, and a zipper pull. We also need our zipper trim pieces for the top, the front pocket, and we need our strap hardware, and rivets. The first thing we're going to do is take our strap connectors. I like to put them even. Measure. We're going to measure 7 1/4 inches. And we're going to make a mark across both of them. Now we're going to take our side panels and we're going to center up these strap connectors on the bottom edge and centered. We'll make sure they are. And we're going to take them to the machine and we're going to sew up to the line we just made, over and down. Now, the way that I'm going to hold these in place is not with double-sided tape, because you will see it on the inside. And I find that it's a lot nicer looking if you don't use the double-sided tape. So I use just plain old masking tape. I like to put just several small pieces because you need to move it as you sew. So I'm just gonna kind of stick it here for now so that I can measure and make sure I get it exactly right. And let's do the other same way. There we go. We're going to take these to the machine and we are going to sew them around the perimeter to the line we drew, over and down, just to hold them in place. Make sure that it's a top stitch length, and make sure that you backstitch at the beginning and end. Let's take them to the machine. Now that we've sewn both shoulder straps into place, I'm going to take one at a time. I have my template from my Blossom shoulder crossbody, and I'm going to mark the holes. All right, and I'm going to do that with the other one. I'm going to punch the holes. I'm going to take a lighter, clean up those holes. Thread your D-ring on. Poke both these rivets through. Fold them over. Poke the second part through. Fold it over. Poke it through the top. And you can put a into place and push this one through. And clip that into place. Now you have a very sturdy strap connector. Let's repeat. Okay. And let's get out our press. And we can set these aside for now. Now let's work on the front zipper modification. So what you're going to need is your front panel piece. You're going to lay it with the curves at the top. Then you are going to measure 3 inches from the top. And you're going to cut it. Now we're going to set this top piece aside for a moment. We're going to work with this bottom piece. Take our zipper tape that's the same length as the width of our front and back panel, and we're going to align it with double-sided tape along this bottom edge here. Then we're going to take the backing off, and we're going to center this, match it up with the line we want it on, and make sure we go and keep it straight with the zipper teeth. Then we're going to take this to the machine, and we're going to sew this right along the raw edge of the zipper, the long raw edge of the zipper, just to hold it down in place. Now that we've sewn this zipper into place, we're going to take our double-sided tape and we're going to run it right along that stitch line. Grab one of your zipper trims, slightly cover this edge, stick it down, and now we're going to take this to the machine and we're going to sew on the top and bottom with a top stitch. I just made a very last minute decision, and I am going to stick a little tag inside this trim. You'll see it when it comes out. And here's the tag I stuck in. Now that we've sewn our zipper trim into place, we're going to take our top piece and we're going to repeat the double-sided tape along the edge of the zipper tape. We're going to take this to the machine and we're going to sew along the edge of the zipper tape. Okay, now that we've attached the top, we now have what the height is going to be for this top piece, but it's too tall. So we're going to take out our cutting mat here. We're going to take out our other piece here. We're going to lay this one underneath, this one on top, line them up, and we're going to cut off the bottom. Okay, we're going to put the back piece aside for a moment. And we're going to, if you did not choose to put a tag here, then you need to put a tag here somewhere. Remember that part of the bottom here is going to wrap under as the bottom. So make sure it's up high enough. and you want to install this type of logo right now before you add your back pocket piece. I decided that this was a little bigger than I wanted, so I went ahead and added this in when I sewed on this zipper trim. So now we take out our back pocket piece and we are going to put a little bit of double-sided tape along this top portion here of the zipper. I like to line it right with the stitch line. And then you're going to stick it down, even with the top of the zipper tape. And then you're going to take it to the machine and you're going to sew it on right beside that line you just did to sew the zipper to the top. Okay, with our back pocket now sewn in, we're going to take our double-sided tape, line it up at the stitch line there in the middle, take out our other zipper trim piece here, line it up, take it to the machine, and with a top stitch along the top and bottom of it, and then we'll be right back. This pocket piece is actually sticking, so I am manipulating it so that it won't stick as I'm sewing. All right, both of our zipper trims are in place. Before we do our next step, we need to install our zipper pull. Pay attention to which tooth is on top, because you'll want to keep it the same tooth on top. And I did not, so I want to just push it up just a little. There we go. I like to leave it in the middle so that it won't get caught when we sew our side seams. Now we're going to take this to the machine and you'll see through the clear top to sew right along the edge of the bottom. So let's take it to the machine and we're going to sew an 1/8 inch in, closing off the bottom of our zipper pocket. The bottom of our zipper pocket is now closed. We will be sewing the sides closed whenever we put the side panels on. So let's put this piece aside. Now we're going to grab the other zipper tape. We need our ruler and we're going to measure down and we're going to make a mark on each side. You're going to open it up, pinch it where you made the mark, fold that pinch toward the teeth and then hold it in place. Whether you use a pin or a clip is up to you. We're going to repeat for the other side. There are other ways to make 90-degree angles on zipper tapes. I just find this to be the most attractive. So if you found another way that you like to make a 90-degree angle, feel free to do so. Let's take this to the machine and baste each side. All right, I went ahead and tacked those down. Make sure you do it as clean and neat as you possibly can because you will see that on the inside. Now you're going to want to separate these zippers entirely because it makes it easier to sew the front and the back. We're going to need our front and back panels. On the front panel, you're going to start at your left-hand side. You're going to measure over from this edge and you're going to make a mark. Set that aside for a moment. Grab your back panel, measure over from your right edge, and make a mark. Now, set that aside. We want the zipper teeth that go at the 90-degree angle up and then over to your right for the front, and we want the other one for your back. So what we're going to do is we're going to take masking tape. Because we don't want the double-sided tape to show through, and this is going to be on the outside of your back. So what we're going to do is grab a couple of short little pieces of masking tape. And we're going to line it up at the line. And you want to come down, you can see my finger here through the tape. You want to come down to about here. Sometimes you can see it a little better from the back, so if it helps, feel free to turn it over, line it up. You can clip it or do whatever you want to hold it in place. And then I like to, like I said, use masking tape to hold it. But this will hold it until I get my masking tape in place and keep it evenly lined the whole way down the length. And then over here, I can put it right here. Okay. So let's get our masking tape in place. All right, and we're going to take it to the machine and we're going to sew right along this inside edge of the zipper tape. I'm going to go ahead and put the other zipper tape into place. That way we can sew them both at the same time. Now we're going to take this to the machine and we're going to sew both of them into place. When you get to the end, stop Do not sew past the end of the front panel or back panel. Be sure that you back stitch well. Now both front and back zippers are on the panels. Now we're going to take some double-sided tape and run it right along that stitch line there on top of the zipper tape only. And then we'll be laying the zipper trim with the curve right along this curve all the way to the other curve and sticking it down. We're trapping the zipper tape in between the panel and the zipper trim. Go ahead and put a clip right here since there's no tape. All right, and now we're going to take both of them to the machine and we're going to sew around the entire perimeter with a 1/8 inch seam allowance. This is a top stitch length and we're going to sew all the way around. Take it nice and slow around the curves just to make it as nice and neat as you can. Let's take them both to the machine. All right, now our zipper is sandwiched in between the panel and the zipper trim. So now we're going to veer off the pattern another time. I want to make my bottom seam allowance flush with the back. So it's a little easier to do it the way the pattern is written, but I want to do it just a little bit different. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to clip the bottom of the bag together, both bottoms together, right side together. So I'm going to take it to the machine and I'm going to sew along the bottom edge. Now I'm going to sew another row directly beside it. Okay, with this sewn together, I'm now going to lay it flat, wrong side up, and I'm going to butterfly the seam allowance open. I'm going to take this to the machine, and now I'm going to sew it with the seam allowance flat on each side of this seam. All right, now we have a nice flush seam for our bottom seam. Now we're going to take and get both of our side panels. We're going to put one over here starting at this little notch and clip it in place. And then we're going to clip the other one the same way, right at the notch. Line that up. And then we're going to take them to the machine, both of them, and we're going to sew both of these panels from this corner down to this corner of this notch. So just all the way down. And then from this corner all the way down to this corner of this notch. Let's take it to the machine. Make sure that you backstitch very well at the beginning and the end. All right, with these now sewn in place, we're going to line them up with the opposite side. This is why it's a little easier to do without the bottom sewn, but it's still doable. It's not too hard. You could still do it. And clip them in place. And now we're going to take this to the machine and we're going to sew from this notch corner here up to this notch corner here, and same on this side, this notch corner here to this notch corner here. And you'll have to just kind of manipulate it in the machine to get it behind the foot, and it'll go real easy once you get to that. Let's take it to the machine. All right, our side panels are now into place. So we're going to just move right on along. You'll need to look now right inside where this notch is. I don't know if you could see that, where the notch is. And you're going to take your scissors and you're going to snip just into that notch. See? Just like that. And do that at each notch. Now that allows you to pull this side panel out and line it up. And then clip it into place. Sometimes the vinyl sticks, but just fix it, that's no problem. And once you have it all lined up into place, do the opposite side. And now you'll take these to the machine and you'll sew from that notch to that notch on each side panel. All right, our bottom edges are now sewn into place. So what we're going to do is we're going to trim our top little corners up here so that they're not so sharp. I like to do just a little bit of a curve around. There we go. And do that to each one. If you choose to bind the edges, these are really actually pretty clean, straight edges. But if you choose to bind the edges, you'll need to cut your binding the length of each one, wrap it around, and then sew right along the edge of your binding, catching both sides. And you'll do that for all 3 sides on each side of the bag. The next option, this binding, by the way, is from Sophisticated Craft Supplies, and all you need to do is singe the edges, nice and neat. The other thing you need to do is trim down right here on each side where the zipper is. You want that to be nice and flush. And what you might want to do after that is singe the zipper tape. It's kind of sharp on this side, so just feel it and see where you need to do. And I'm going to singe where the zipper tape is. And then we're going to turn it right side out. This is a very big opening, so it's pretty easy to turn out, but sometimes you may need to get a blow dryer to heat up the vinyl and make it easier. Especially where the pocket is, it's pretty thick. It's not very easy to get leverage in front of me. I normally do this in my lap. All right. Only a couple steps left. We need to put our zipper pull on. And you can either use the zipper tabs in the pattern, or you can use one of these zipper ends. To use a zipper end, you just fold it in and fold it in again. Once you get it just how you like, get the little screw, put it in the back, and you can put some Loctite on the screw so that it won't come back out. Then you're going to take your strap, and there you go. You have a truth crossbody. You can load up the front pocket.
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this tutorial as much as we enjoyed sharing it with you. If you like what you saw, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to like and share. And while you're at it, check out some of our other tutorials. We love to see your creations, so please share and tag Cherishing Today when you do. And don't forget to join our Facebook group, Cherishing Today Designs, for more inspiration.